What happens when we die? Seriously, it's the question, isn't it? It's kept people up at night for thousands of years. Well, long before we had neuroscience or brain scans, an ancient text captured this amazing conversation that just dives right into that mystery. Today, we're going to listen in on a dialogue between a guy who had literally everything, and the one person he thought could finally answer his deepest questions about consciousness and where we go from here.
So, let's meet our protagonist, Bhadrapala. Think of him as the Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk of his day. I mean, this guy was unbelievably rich, powerful, a total titan of industry. But here's the thing, all that success, all that money, it couldn't quiet the storm raging inside his head. He admits it right here, saying he's beset by the afflictions of life and death. That's what makes his story so powerful. He's dealing with the exact same existential dread that we all grapple with.
So here's our roadmap for this journey. We're going to start with Bhadrapala's big question. Then we'll dive into the three incredible metaphors the Buddha uses to explain consciousness, rebirth, and this thing called karma. And finally, we'll pull it all together to see the secret of how our life actually flows.
Okay, so just how rich was Bhadrapala? The text spends a lot of time describing his wealth, and it's not just to show off. There's a really important reason for it.
I mean, just look at these numbers. It's almost impossible to even imagine. 60,000 merchants at his beck and call, 60,000 different dishes for dinner. He even had this magical chariot called the Mind Snatcher that could literally travel as fast as you could think. The whole point of describing all this isn't just to say, wow, he was rich. It's to show that none of it, not the power, not the luxury, not even the magic chariot, could buy him what he really wanted, peace of mind.
So he goes to the Buddha and just lays it all on the table. He asks the questions that are absolutely tearing him apart. What is this thing we call consciousness? Can you describe it? What does it look like? And, the big one, how in the world does it leave one body when it dies and find its way to a new one? This is the heart of the whole conversation.
Now, the Buddha's answer is fascinating. He doesn't start with some heavy, dense philosophical lecture. Nope. He starts with a metaphor that is so simple and so powerful, anyone can get it. He says, think of consciousness as the wind.
The term he uses is shenshi, and he defines it as this formless, colorless, invisible force. You can't see it, you can't grab it, but you absolutely know it's there. You know, it's just like the wind, right? You never see the wind itself, you only see what it does. You see the leaves rustling, you hear it howl, you feel it on your face. Consciousness is just like that. We know it exists because it allows us to think, to speak, to act. We see its effects.
This comparison makes it so clear. Both are invisible. We only know them by what they do. But that last line, that's the kicker. Just like the wind can carry the beautiful scent of flowers or, the smell of garbage, consciousness carries something too. It carries our karma, the energetic imprint of our good and bad deeds. So right away, we learn consciousness isn't just some neutral life force. It's a carrier.
Okay, so if consciousness is like the wind, that still leaves a huge question. How does it get from one life to the next? Does some little consciousness ghost just float out of your body and into a new one? The Buddha says, not exactly. And his next analogy is even more elegant, the mirror.
This is just such a brilliant way to explain a really tricky idea. He tells Bhadrapala, hey, think about your face and what you see when you look in a mirror. He says, the connection between your consciousness and your body, it works just like that.
Let's really break this down. Your face isn't literally inside the mirror, right? The reflection is just an appearance. It only happens when the right conditions come together. You need a face and you need a mirror. It has no substance of its own. In the exact same way, consciousness isn't a thing that physically moves from one place to another. Instead, it appears in a new body when the right conditions are met, namely the karma from a past life and the union of parents. It's not a transfer of an object, it's a continuation of a process.
This brings us to the engine that's driving this whole process, karma. If the mirror analogy explains how consciousness shows up in a new life, this next metaphor, the seed, explains why it shows up in the specific way that it does.
So consciousness is never empty. You can think of it like a stream of water, and it's carrying countless little seeds along with it. Every single action, every word, every thought we've ever had, it's a seed. Some are seeds of kindness and generosity. Others might be seeds of anger or jealousy. They're all in there, being carried along.
And this is how the process is said to unfold. First, a life ends. The physical body is worn out, but the consciousness, that thought force, it keeps going, and it's holding on to all those karmic seeds we've planted. Then it's drawn, almost like a magnet, to a new set of conditions that resonate with its particular karmic charge, and boom, that's what leads to the formation of a new body. It's a continuous flow.
Think about it this way. A tiny little seed has all the potential for a giant tree inside of it. It just needs the right conditions, good soil, water, sunlight, to grow. But here's the key. A mango seed is always going to grow into a mango tree. It's never going to be an apple tree. It's the same idea with consciousness. The karmic seeds we carry find the right conditions to sprout into a new life, and the qualities of that new life depend entirely on the type of seeds we planted.
So, when you put all three of these metaphors together, the invisible wind, the reflection in the mirror, and the traveling seed, you start to see the secret. You get the whole picture that the Buddha was painting for Bhadrapala.
And here, the Buddha gives one last, absolutely beautiful image. He says that consciousness, at its core, is like sunlight. Sunlight can shine on a gorgeous flower, or it can shine on a pile of garbage. But the light itself doesn't get dirty. It's just light. In the same way, our consciousness might manifest in a really difficult life because of past karma, but its essential nature, that remains pure and unstained. And this is the final takeaway. It all boils down to this. We are the artists of our own lives. Our consciousness is the creative force. Our body is the canvas, and every single thing we do, say, or think, our karma, those are the paints. The life we're living right now and the ones we will live in the future, they are masterpieces or messes of our own making. We are constantly painting our future in every moment.
And suddenly, Bhadrapala's ancient question isn't so ancient anymore. It's for us, right here, right now. All that turmoil he felt, even with all his wealth, it came from feeling powerless. And this dialogue gives him, and us, the ultimate power back. It's not about what you own. It's about what you do. It forces us to ask, if our actions are the seeds of our future, what kind of garden are we planting today? What are you choosing to put into the world?